You know when you're scrolling online and you see one of those videos, a stunt that goes horribly, horribly wrong, and you just can't help but think, oof, that had to hurt? Well, what if I told you there's a surprising and pretty deep connection between those epic fails and the science that literally saves lives in your car every day? It really all comes down to this one kind of weird question. What on earth could a clumsy unicycle jump possibly have in common with a super high-tech $130,000 crash test dummy? And the answer? Well, it's not just wild, it's actually a huge lesson in how to stay safe. So let's start with something we've probably all seen, the fail video. It's become a whole genre of internet entertainment. But one TV show decided to turn all that hilarious pain into a science lesson. You might have heard of it, National Geographic's show Science of Stupid. The whole idea is brilliant. They take these viral clips of, let's just say, questionable life choices, and they break down the actual scientific principles that made failure pretty much inevitable. And, I mean, the episode titles alone tell you everything you need to know. We're talking Cannonball Ice Dude, Human Tower Disasters, even Jetpack Failure. It's hilarious, yeah, but it's also like a masterclass in physics that, trust me, you do not want to learn the hard way. So what is the science behind all that ouch? Well, behind every spectacular face plans and every failed jump, there's a simple and kind of brutal equation at work. It's all about force, pressure, and the very real limits of the human body. Okay, to really get this, let's think about a classic scenario that comes from research by the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety, or IIHS. Why is it always a better idea to lie down on thin ice instead of standing up on it? The answer is all right here in this little formula. Pressure equals force divided by area. Now, your weight, that's the force, right? That's not changing. The one thing you can control is the area you're spreading that force over. And look, this chart just lays it out perfectly. When you stand up, as you see on the left, all of your weight gets concentrated on the tiny area of your feet. That creates super high pressure and crack! The ice breaks. But if you lie down, you spread that exact same force over a much bigger area. The pressure drops way down and you're much safer. It's a game of inches, really. Here's another way to wrap your head around it. Imagine someone steps on your foot. What would hurt more if they were wearing a tennis shoe or a stiletto heel? It's the same person, so it's the same force. But that tiny little point on the heel concentrates all of that pressure, which is why it would hurt a lot more. But you know, physics is only half the story. A lot of these fails and a lot of real-world accidents aren't just about outside forces. They're about what's going on inside our own heads. We're talking about reaction time. And spoiler alert, we're not as fast as we think we are. Okay, so check this out. It's a super simple experiment from the IIS called the ruler drop test. You can even try this at home. Somebody holds a ruler, and you get ready to catch it. They drop it without warning, and the distance it falls before you snatch it out of the air is a direct measurement of your reaction time. Yeah, the results are usually not great for our egos. Most of us clock in at less than 1 second. I mean, that is a tiny, tiny window of time to see a problem, figure out what to do, and then actually do it. Whether it's catching a ruler or swerving on the highway, that tiny fraction of a second is absolutely everything. And things get even worse when you add in what the IIHS calls the 4 horsemen of distraction. You've got visual, like taking your eyes off the road to look at your phone. Auditory, cranking the music so loud you can't hear a siren. Manual, taking your hands off the wheel. And that last one, cognitive, that's the sneakiest of all. It's just thinking about something else, daydreaming. Any one of these can be a disaster. And this isn't some small issue. Just look at this number, 40%. A Pew Research survey found that a staggering 40% of American teens said they've been in a car where the driver was using a cell phone in a way that put them in danger. That's almost half. That's just wild. Okay, so we have seen the painful physics and the human lag that's on full display in all these viral videos. So, how does all of this bring us back to that expensive dummy and the car sitting in your driveway? Let's connect the dots. This is it. This is the big connection. In a very real way, all those people in the fail videos, they are basically accidental crash test dummies. They are showing us, in the most chaotic way possible, exactly what happens to the human body when you ignore the laws of physics. Of course, this data is a complete mess, right? Which is why real engineers need a much, much more scientific way to study this stuff. Right. The data from those YouTube fails might be free, but to really learn something, you need the professional version. A single pro-level crash test dummy can set you back over $130,000. And why? Because unlike some dude jumping off a roof, a real dummy is absolutely packed with sophisticated sensors. So what are they actually measuring? Well, you can see it right here. Acceleration, which tells them just how brutal the crash forces really are. They've got force sensors to measure the direct hit on different body parts, and distortion gauges that show exactly how the body bends, twists, or even breaks. This is the kind of crucial data that actually saves lives. And all that super detailed data, it leads directly to the life-saving technology we kind of take for granted today. Rigid safety cages that protect us, 6-point harnesses in race cars, special energy-absorbing materials right around your head, even car parts that are designed to break away in a crash just to absorb the impact. All of it comes from understanding this science. So, when you boil it all down, what's the one big idea here? What really connects Discus for Dummies to a multi-million-dollar vehicle safety lab? It's really this simple. The laws of physics do not play favorites. Force, pressure, momentum. They don't care if you're a stunt professional, a kid trying a dare for TikTok, or just somebody driving to the grocery store. These laws are always on, always at work. And that's why organizations like the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety are so incredibly important. They're the ones doing the hard science, running the controlled tests, and pushing for the engineering that keeps all of us safer out there on the roads. It's the really serious side of the exact same science we laugh at in those fail videos. So, I'm going to leave you with this. The next time you're scrolling through your feed and you come across one of those epic fail clips, are you just going to laugh? Or are you going to see something else? Will you maybe see those invisible, powerful, and constant laws of physics at work, reminding you just how much they matter?